Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's class. Like Maiwa already told you guys on the Discord channel, we're going to be doing a review on the stage 4 task, okay, which we're asked to design a portfolio website. So I'm going to be sharing a few websites. I'm sure you can see my screen. Please confirm you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Please respond. Okay. So I'm starting with this one because this actually look presentable. So I'm just going to talk about this before I go to the ones that are not so cool. So as you can see, he made good use of spacing, right? Everything is not so jam-packed, and the colors also have good contrast. This is his hero section, and you can see the items on the header. Questions, we cannot see my screen. I think it's your network because every other person can. Am I right? Can you guys see my screen? Okay, so you may have to check your network. All right, so this is the hero section, as I was saying, and we have this for services I offer. Although I would have looked for this body text or this body text to be a little bit gray, not black, because I like the title text and the body text to be distinct. Okay, for people to be able to distinguish between the both of them. So I'd rather this be grayed out a little bit. The same thing with the body text here, but there's good use of spacing in this design. Okay, the same thing here. Can see this is about me, and there's actually a copy here. You can read it yourself. Meet Khalid, a talented graphics designer and dedicated university student, blah blah blah, to show you that you actually put in the work. You've not seen anything like lorem ipsum here. Actually put in the work to generate copies, okay, for his website, which is a plus. And then we have this other section for achievements and skills. You can see the good use of spacing and alignment, but also this would have looked much better if it was grayed out a bit and not black as the title text is. And then we have here for my project, you can see the use of tabs here. And this can tell you that this is for when all is being selected, because this is highlighted. And then if it's brand, you would also tell that the brand is selected because it will now carry the primary color, which is this color. You can also see the good use of spacing here for my projects. And then a button here, a tertiary button that says see more. So we have for testimonials. You can still see the good use of spacing. But also, like I said, the body text will be better if it is grayed out. And I'm not sure, this is bold. Let me check. I think this is bold or semi-bold. This should be regular. Okay. And we have the footer. you can also still see the good use of spacing. So these are things that you need to take note of when you're working on any design at all. Keep it simple and avoid the use of multicolors on your websites. Purple, black, brown, all of those colors. Keep it simple. If you're going to introduce a color, I think another color, make sure that if you have a primary, you're going to use a primary and also a secondary color or an accent color. Make sure that they all complement each other. You can see that this person made use of yellow, and then the rest of the colors are black and gray. So play safe, keep it simple. Less is more. I keep saying that. You can see the mobile view too. But this, I think I dropped the comments. This person here is not cool at all. This person here is not cool. Everything should not look too jam-packed. Neither should everything look too big when you're designing for your mobile responsive. And also take note that it's not everything that you have on the web that is going to appear on the mobile responsive. Okay, so it's just the important things or key things. And also knowing how to resize when it comes to mobile responsive. It cannot be the same thing. The body text cannot be the same thing as the one on the website. The same thing with your title text or your your headers. The text that you use for your headers or your hero section, it cannot be the same thing as when you're designing for the mobile responsive. So these are things that you need to take note of. And also, you can see how nice and well arranged this style guide is. We have the text style, the color styles, the buttons, text field, icons, and all of that. So if this person is being graded a 90 or 95 or 80, you can tell that this person actually worked for it. So when a task is being given to you, and although a few comments will drop, I can actually commend this person that this person actually did a good job. Okay, at putting into practice what he learned. And this is one thing I want us to pick up. Okay. So that's for Khalid. I'm just going to move to the next person. I think I brought out a few here. I'm going to start with Chuku Cynthia. I don't know if she's on the call. So I saw this design and this actually looked very nice. But the only problem here is that this person copy pasted everything. I think the only difference between this design and this design is the number. Is the number here. The person did not add to this design, but the rest of the stuff is the same. And this is what we've been trying to tell you. Okay, the footer is different, but I don't understand why the footer is aligned to the top because this is not supposed to be. Because of course, because the padding below is too much. So the spacing here is not nice at all. This guy should come down, probably be vertically aligned. Yes, I think I even dropped a comment. Align these items to the frame of your header vertically. Okay. So you can see that there's no much difference. So when you're getting inspiration, right, it doesn't mean you should copy everything because I keep telling myself, what if you decide to now post this design, right? Maybe on Behance. I hope you guys know that you can actually put your designs out there. So let's say you decide to post this on Behance or Dribble or even LinkedIn. This person might come for you because of course this is the person's idea. Okay, and then you copied everything when you can actually just get the idea and then make it even better. Try to be creative. So what Cynthia would have done is probably get the color. Okay, maybe you wanted to go for the dark theme and you wanted yours to be separate from or different from every other person's. You can actually get the color codes and play around. Now, this discover about me, you can even make it bring it to the left-hand side, but everything here is the same. I think the only difference is the corner radius here of this button that are not the same, but the rest of the stuff is the same. And that's not how you steal like a designer. Okay, you can actually get colors, color codes, copy the same color, but then the layout has to be different. It has to be different. Because who knows, you might actually get sued for that. Everything is basically the same. And then we have the what I do, my services. You can see here what I do, my services. I think the only difference is the color here too. That should change. I commend the ability to be able to even replicate this, but that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to replicate the design. You're supposed to get inspiration from there. That's why I talked about the color. The color combination looks very fine, especially for the background. Okay. Get that inspiration, but try to be creative on your own. Okay. Don't copy and paste. So that's the reason why I'm actually sharing this design. Because that's what she did. And trust me, she has lost marks because of that. So I'd advise that if you're getting inspiration from anywhere, okay, if you want to get a design, try to switch things up, try to be creative. Don't be too lazy that you just copy everything and you see a circle here, you put the same circle. You don't even try to tweak the circle a bit or change the positions or change the layout. That's really bad. So that's another skill that you need to pick up as a UI UX designer. Okay. I don't know if she actually worked on the corrections that were pointed out. And what else do we have here? We have this. So let's talk. I think I'm the only one that's been talking since. What do you guys think of this design? And if you were myself or Mayowa, what's score would you give this person? Okay, we have a hand. Chukudi, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Looking at the design first, that yellow the thing the enter eye is too shouty. So that's my own point there. The yellow this thing.
Is it just the color?
Yes, that one, yeah. That is
Okay.
true. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that feedback. Does any other person have something to say? We mentioned that this is a review session, right? So I expect people to talk because that's how you're going to learn. So
I would like to say something about the mobile page.
okay.
Yeah, you can see the about me. A picture is actually blocking all the text that's supposed to be seen. Yeah, it's not really visible.
That's a good one.
And my services also like down, yeah. If she wants the letter to be in the box, she could have just put it there to make everything well
Aligned.
aligned down, yeah, and make it more presentable. So those are the two things I can point out for now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Does any other person have anything to say? Are you guys scared? You guys scared to actually say something? So, like I said, this is a review session. So I expect it to be an interactive session too. I remember the last class we had, was it second? Okay, second to the last class we had. I encouraged you guys to ask questions concerning this class, and nobody said anything. So I'm just going to assume that you guys, you know what you're doing and you understand everything and you're totally fine. So yes, back to this design. The color, actually, the color, the color yellow and the color purple. So I'm just going to zoom out and take you to where she drew her inspiration from. This is where she drew her inspiration from. And you can see the difference. That's why I'm still going to say, if you're going to get inspiration, also get I don't know, how do I put it? Because you can see that this person made use of green, and then for the hero session, the background is still this green, but with a lower opacity. Let's say opacity of 10%. That's what the person used for the background. Now you can see these two colors. You do not see a color like brown mixed with green, because these two colors are so conflicting, purple and yellow. They do not look cool at all. They do not look cool at all. So if you're going to get inspiration, also get the idea of how this thing is being done, okay? The use of colors, use of text, and all of that. You can see how simple this is. And you have the about me. You can see how detailed and well arranged and well aligned that this is too. Use of spacing, same thing with my service, my portfolio. You can see the use of negative space, like everything is not jam-packed. And then contact me, and then you have this for the blog. But then take a look at this. Is the opposite of where you're drawing your inspiration from. Let me zoom out. Even the my service is not aligned. That's because the padding on this other side is too much. So one thing you should do when you're writing out short text like this, always try to click on auto width, okay, to snap it, so that you don't have unnecessary spacing or padding on the side of the text. So this is not even aligned to the center. Same thing with this one. And I think my wardrobe, yes, padding is too much for here. I think she reduced it because it's now too small. And the text, they're not properly aligned. So you don't just come on the board and throw away your elements, just put things anyhow. There's actually a way to do all of this. For example, this shape now, what she could do is align this, because this is obviously not aligned. This is obviously not aligned. This is not aligned to this guy. You can already see it. The same thing with this one. And then reduce the spacing between the body text and the title text. The same thing here. This is not aligned properly. Everything should be center aligned when you're working with this kind of box or cards. And then let's talk about the about me. Feels like whoever did this just threw elements, text, buttons, left and right, because I'm trying to understand why this button is here and why this one is here, because this is the shape. right? So I'm assuming that every other thing that comes under it should be aligned either to the center or to the left or to the right. But this is just here. And now I'm trying to differentiate where is the primary button here, where is the secondary button? The padding here is too small. And then we have my portfolio. The text here is barely visible. The text here is fighting the image in the background. A lot of things are not properly placed, and the use of colors too. This would be much better if the overlay she used here was black. And also, if you want to add a text to an image, I suggest you add a gradient to the image itself. Black out maybe the bottom if that's where you want to add the text, so that the text can be visible. Because you cannot control the kind of picture that the person is going to make use of. So what if you have a white text and the background of the image is white? That can be very conflicting. And then we have this for blog. Inadequate spacing. Inadequate spacing. So this can actually be better. And these are things that you guys need to take note of. The use of colors. I remember I said play it safe. And then this button is so small and it's so far away from this place. I'm now wondering if she forgot to put something here or if something is supposed to be here. Play it safe with your colors. Keep it simple too. Now, I don't know what's going on with the mobile here because you can already see that I don't know what she did here, honestly. The picture is outside. Am I supposed to like scroll to the left and the picture will now come in? Because that's what it's looking like here. This is not right. This is totally not cool at all. And I don't know if you guys actually watch the class videos. If you miss out on classes, what you should do is watch the class videos to stay updated. And like I said, it will not take anything from you if you actually reach out. If you don't want to ask a question on the Discord channel, they reach out to somebody that you think knows, or even reach out to the mentors or the trainers. Okay, but also I'm going to advise you even ask the question on the general channel. That is the UI/UX general channel. Because like I said, your question could actually bring solution to somebody else's problem. Okay. So this will go to show that this person did not actually put any effort into designing this, because this is totally not cool. Okay. So I feel like this person just copy pasted into the mobile screen and did not actually design this. Just copied and reduced it a bit and then pasted it in the mobile screen. It doesn't look presentable at all. So I think I have, this is for Chim, is it Chimzom or, okay, I'm just going to call that Zika. And I think I have another one here. So we have this. Before I go ahead and point out a few things, what do you guys have to say about this? I'm just going to zoom in a bit. So let's talk. You guys are too quiet and it's not nice at all. So let's talk. Yes. What do you guys think about this design? Or what do you have to say about this design? If you want to say speak up, you can use the you can raise your hand. So Olu Ebube is saying a lot of things are going on here. Can you point out? Sophie is saying the contrast. What about the contrast? So let's talk. If you're able to point out what you think is wrong with a design, that means you actually know what you're doing, or that means you actually know that this is supposed to be here, this is not supposed to be here. Okay, Tolulope, go ahead.
Okay, I can say the text are not well placed, and I can say something about hierarchy. There is no hierarchy there.
Okay.
Like in some places, there is no hierarchy there, and that's what I can see for the screen for now.
You need me to scroll down.
Okay. And the button for more, I don't know if it's to be by the side, or it could be under. The
Okay.
white choose me button, yeah. I don't think it's placed where it's supposed to be placed. I think the rest are good. But the color, the text, yeah, I think it's supposed to put it to regular.
The
The
body
one on
text
that,
here.
yeah, it's supposed to be as regular. Yeah, so that's what I can see from now.
Okay, thank you very much. Does another person have anything to say? So I have plenty of hands up. I don't know why you guys are not saying anything. So while I give you guys time to maybe think about it or still look through the designs, I'm just going to point out a few things. So you can see that this is obviously where Joshua is getting his inspiration from. Okay. But then there's a lot of difference between this source of inspiration and his design. And I have no idea what's going on here. First of all, I'm going to start with the header. Okay, the nav bar. The about is so far apart from the project. So the choice of colors too. The choice of colors is very, very conflicting. Like here, let's talk. I could barely see that. I had to zoom in. And then the alignment of the design is the silent ambassador of your brand. That's supposed to be like a quote text here. There's a better way to actually design that, or a better way to put that. The same thing here. Choice of colors. This can actually be better. And then I don't understand what's going on here. There's a lot going on here. With the colors, the icons, everything is too busy, actually. So here Famous is saying a lot of text without containers and without high ranking. The image is making me wonder if it's a gallery alignment too. Okay, let's keep the comments coming. Thank you for the feedback. So there's a lot going on here and this could be better. if you're pointing out tools, I'm saying skills and experience. Now let's take a look at how this guy did his. Okay, this is for skills and experience. You can see that this is where the person had the skills. Okay. And you also saw that this person, there's unity in the way the person arranged his icons, yeah. They're inside a circle, a black circle. But then here we have a lot of different colors for the icons. I'm not wondering what exactly is going on. And then the alignments, this one is here, this one is here. So it's now at the center below, which is not cool at all. If you wanted to make use of this piece, Figma, you can decide to even put the text under and then the icons above it. And then let there be a sense of unity. If you're going to make use of Figma as this color, then all of them should have this color. If you want all your icons to have this color, all of them should have that color. But if you want your icons, okay, to have the actual brand colors, then let it be obvious. Let's also do that. But there's a lot of inconsistency here. There's no unity at all here. The same thing with this place. Same thing with this place. There's a lot going on. So like I said, if you're going to get inspiration, we're not asking you to copy everything, okay? To copy and paste everything as you see it exactly. But at least get the idea in terms of alignment, in terms of colors. Because this is totally different from where you're drawing inspiration from. Nobody will believe that you're drawing inspiration from this design here, because this is even more detailed and well aligned. Then we'll now go back to the recent projects. And we have this color, which doesn't look visually appealing at all. View more, we have this one here, and then the alignment of this frame itself. And then what's this line? And then the bank app design. There's a better way to design this. There's a better way to arrange this. You can see how this person did his. This hierarchy. Okay, this hierarchy, there is appropriate spacing. So please, this is why I said you should practice a lot more. So the question now is, what do you do after KodeCamp class? So we're done here and then we end the class. Then you do your task. What else do you do with your time? Do you actually go get inspirations? Do you actually see a design that actually looks nice or that you like, and you try to replicate it? Because that's actually how you learn. I remember Maiwa started a thread on the Discord channel where people could actually, practice and then share it on the Discord channel. That was not supposed to end. It was not a trend that was supposed to just start and end. It's a continuous thing, because that's how you learn. If you have been practicing, you're going to see the difference. You're going to see the difference a lot more. And I think I remember I pointed out in the last class, that don't hide behind the fact that you're a learner. You're just starting. You've never done this before. What if I told you that whoever designed this is a learner too? But the difference is this person has been practicing more than the other person. It's just like when you're in secondary school or you're in school, basically, you can tell the difference between somebody who studies continuously and somebody who doesn't. Someone who doesn't attend classes, who does not do assignments, or maybe just does it for the marks, and the person that actually burns the night oil to study, you can tell the difference. So there's a difference between this now and this other one. The difference is clear. So what you should do is practice more, reach out, do something, send the link on the group, let people criticize and drop comments. That's how you get better. Don't stop practicing, because when you now get on your board, there's going to be a lot of things going on, because you don't even know your left from your right. You don't know how to put together elements. You don't know how to put your text together. You don't know anything about visual hierarchy. And then it's not enough to actually watch the class videos, because I think that's what most of you guys do. You just, maybe you missed the class, or maybe you didn't even miss the class. You're given a task, you go back to the video, and then you play the video and try to do exactly what I did. It's not going to take you anywhere, because after there, you do not know exactly what to do. And it's evident in this design. So please, you guys should practice more. If you have to borrow somebody's laptop, do that. Okay, Mayowa, please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Favor. Good afternoon, everyone. So concerning this particular design, few things I'd like to add. The very first thing that a whole lot of you don't yet understand is that the finer your design is does not mean the better it is or the more usable it is. Unlike in graphic design or any other type of design, visual design, unlike any of those, when it comes to web design, UI, UX design, mobile app design, it's the other way around. You have to try and go, especially at your levels, the levels that you are right now. Simplicity is very, very important. You are not at the stage where you want to be exploring complex designs. No, you want to settle for very, very simple things. And don't have the misconception that if your design is simple, it's not fine or it's not great. That's very, very, very wrong. You have to clear that out of your mind. You know, because a whole lot of the designs I'm seeing in your submissions, you guys are looking for something complex. You're trying to either wow us or wow yourself or wow your classmates, whoever it is you're trying to wow. Just forget all of that. And it starts with the kind of inspiration websites you are going to. You are the kind of websites you are going to get inspiration from. Get inspiration from. Just find simple designs. That was why we shared with you a very comprehensive list of websites you can get inspirations from. If you go to one and all you're seeing there are things that look very technical, go to another one until you find something very simple. And what I mean by something very simple is a kind of design that you are familiar with, that you can relate with, and you're like, oh, okay, I've seen this kind of website somewhere before. And what I mean by that is not the content of the website, it's simply the layout. And what layout means is how is information on the website laid out. This particular one we're looking at, for instance, you can see the very first section. That's what we call the hero section. After the hero section, then you now have tools, skills, and experience section all in one. After that, you have recent projects. The way all of this thing is laid out on this website is what we call the layout. So in each section, the way categories of a section are also laid out is part of the layout. For instance, if tools is on the left and skills and experiences on the right, that's one layout. Tools can be on top and skills and experience at the bottom is another layout. So this particular layout that you have here is very unconventional, very, very unconventional. And one of the reasons why you're having that is because, which brings me to my second point. The first point I made is about your designs being very simple. That's very, very important. Let your designs be simple. So the second point is that this particular frame, what I mean by frame is this particular page from here to the other end. That's the width. You have to make sure that when designing, you're intentional about all these things. Know what breakpoint you are designing for. And one of the things that can help you with that is by viewing your work in prototype mode. Favor, can you quickly show us how to, I think you've actually even done that before, but view your work in presentation mode, this particular page, when you click on presentation, how exactly does it appear? So as you are designing, you're also checking how it's going to look like, not just um for desktop, but also for mobile. And for mobile, there's a hack for that. If you're designing a mobile screen, because people, can you click on the mobile frame and open it in presentation mode? So because as you are designing, you are viewing it on Figma, you can zoom out, you can zoom in. So it might be really hard for you to appreciate the size of your text or the size of your buttons and things like that. Although there is a standard guideline to help you out with button sizes, font sizes, and all. I expect you guys to do your research on that. I think I dropped that kind of comment on some of your submissions. But one thing that will help you is being able to visualize these things. So when you open a mobile frame, for instance, in presentation mode, this is how it looks like. It's still hard to visualize because you are seeing it on your laptop. You are seeing it on your computers, and this is a mobile screen. So you have to find a way to open this on a mobile phone. So you are actually seeing how it look like. So you would know that this particular button is too small or too big. By the time you put your thumb next to it, how clickable is it? So one hack for that is to actually use the Figma mobile app. The Figma mobile app is completely different from what you have on the desktop app or on their website. The app is just there for you to check comments, add comments, and check the scalability of your works. You cannot design on the mobile app. You cannot edit the design. All you can do there is to view your design, view comments, and add comments. So download the Figma app. It's available on both iOS and Android. And it's not really hard to use. You just have to figure it out. Once you download it for the first time, you get a guide on how to actually view your mobile screen. You can also view desktop screens, but it's ideal and optimized for mobile screens. View your mobile screen on your phone. So as you're designing on your laptop, especially for mobile screens, also be um, looking at the how it looks like using the Figma app on your mobile phone. So that's going to help you understand what exactly you are designing. It's helping you scale it because you can actually see how exactly it's going to appear on a mobile phone, not just by opening it here on Figma, because that can be deceiving. All right, thank you. Favor, can you go back to the design? And then the third thing I would like to add is user experience. User experience is light years more important than the user interface because the whole idea of you designing a website in the first place is to solve a problem. There is a challenge. Say, for instance, a portfolio website. The problem is that you want to find a way to display your works and display your skills, your experience to potential clients or recruiters. That is pretty much the um, purpose of a portfolio website. So the very first thing is that there's a problem and you're trying to solve that problem by designing a website. So the experience that a potential client or what's it called, or recruiters would have when they come across your website is much more important than how fine they think your um what's it called? How fine they think your website is. So in your hero section, Joshua, in this particular website, your call to action says hire me. So that call to action alone is very, very ambiguous. Like when I click hire me, what's going to happen? Will you automatically show up at my company? Will you automatically be a staff? So your call to actions have to be clear, very, very clear. In this case, your call to action can either be download my CV or reach out to me. So you cannot just say hire me because that's very, very ambiguous. And then all those social media links that you have there, Favor has already addressed the for contrast and all, but those links they are not necessary at all. Your hero section, when I say hero section, I mean the very first section of your website, which is the section that you see without scrolling. Once you load a page, that very first section that you see before you start to scroll is your hero section. So that section should contain your primary call to action. And from that hero section alone, users should be able to understand what your website is about. It is very, very, very important. So initially on this design, you had some text about me on this hero section. I remember I asked you to remove it and you removed it. So the other text you have there, design is the silent ambassador of your brand. It's not needed. How exactly is that going to improve the experience of your users? And your users are recruiters and potential clients. So your user experience is way more important. The reason why we taught you about the different processes, the different design processes, is so you can put yourself in the shoe of your users. That's why the very first stage is the empathize stage. I know some of you have forgotten these things. The classes are still there on YouTube. Go and watch them and recap. You're empathizing because you want to put yourself in the shoe of your users. I'm not even talking about the whole research and all of that. That's you going too deep. But for such a website where you have just a few days to design, put yourself in that shoe. When you ask yourself questions like, if I'm a recruiter, when I come across a potential candidate website, what are the most important things I want to see? So you list them out. You know that the most important thing is I want to see what exactly it is that you do. Are you a product designer? Are you a website developer? Are you a graphic designer? Those things need to be clear. After that, I want to see what you can do because that's the most important thing. What can you do? Which is your what you have down there as recent projects, which of course are going to be case studies. So ideally, you should be having this section that says recent projects should come before tools, skills, and experience. In the context of putting yourself in your user's shoe, this particular section is not going to have so much impact because there is hardly any candidates. Let's say, for instance, now I am the one recruiting for a job. I'm going through, it's not just Joshua's portfolio I'm going to view. You have to understand that I'm opening several websites, and 95% of these people, of these candidates, would have things like this on their website about the tools that they use, skills and experience. Of course, this is obvious. I expect you to be able to use Figma and all these things and all of that. So if you are going to include it at all, it is better that it doesn't occupy too much space. I get that you are taking this from your source of inspiration, but we also taught you about user experience, not just UI. So we expect you to apply design thinking into your works. So this kind of section, it will not really influence the decision of a recruiter. Remember that this is just your portfolio website. If you're applying for a job, you are also going to use your resume, and your resume is surely going to have a dedicated sections for skills and all of that. So all I'm just saying is that recent projects is way more important than tools, skills, and experience. And tools, skills, and experience is not important enough for it to occupy so much space. It is easier to just find a very nice, visually nice way to present these things instead of using a whole section to present them. Because you have to understand that users have very, 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 very low attention span rather. Most users don't spend up to 10 seconds on your website. In this particular case, your users are recruiters. I read an article once that talks about how recruiters don't spend up to 30 seconds on each application. Each application meaning they use not up to 30 seconds to view your resume and view your portfolio. So it means that you have to, this is still me talking about putting yourself in the shoe of your user. You have to present to them the information they need as soon as possible, because I, as a recruiter, I might just hop on your hero section, and your hero section alone, I might not even scroll. So your hero section should have, I'm not saying it should have too much information, but it should have the things that that I need to actually take action, which is to hire you or at least to invite you for an interview. So this is still talking about portfolio websites. All of these things would vary from website to website, from industry to industry, but they all still function under the same principle, which is put yourself in the shoe of your user. We keep on saying this thing, and it starts to sound like a cliche, but most of you don't do it. Take out time before you start designing. Take out time and just close your eyes and think, if I want to, if I'm hopping on such a website, what are the things I want to see first? What are the things I want to be able to do? And once you understand that, and that's one of the most important skills that actually set you apart, actually, as a designer, being able to being empathetic. So every other thing Favor has pretty much addressed. Just don't focus on the UI alone. Look at the user experience. Right now, this task actually is not just the UI we're testing, it's both the user interface and the user experience. So when you're making corrections to your task, bear this in mind. Thank you very much. Favor, you can go ahead. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Maya. What am I even going to say again? Because I feel like you said everything. So yes, I don't know if Joshua is on this call or if he is hearing or seeing this, but I actually believe that you can do better than this, and I cannot wait to see what you come up with, because a lot of comments have been dropped on your board. So let me just move on to the next person. We have Stanley Eze here, and before I go on, what do we have to say? What do we have to say about this website design? Comments, feedback. Does anybody have anything to say? Remember, I said your ability to point out what is wrong and what is right. It means you're actually, you know what you're doing to an extent. So, okay, that's a first. Sophie, go ahead.
Firstly, I'd like to say that it looks more like a document than a website. It's too like white, it's just like white or true, not it's not kind of busy, not too busy sharp, or there's like to an extent where a portfolio will look like. And again, font style, the font style is it's out of it because I remember like I think the first or second text the first text we did about the just play around with your Figma and stuff. The admin talked about font styles when designing. The font style doesn't like it's not in line with what it's trying to design. It's looking like maybe designing for a vampire page or something. And I think that's all I can say for now. And the nav bar, they are too big. Like it's not contained properly.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Sophie, for that. So yes, Stanley, what are you doing on the board? Please go and sit down. Oh my God. So yes, the items on the header, right? They're too big. And like she said, the padding is too small. So it's not giving them enough room or enough space. And this is, she said, it's looking like a newspaper or an article. So this could be better. It could actually be better. I don't know if we go, okay, this is where you got his inspiration from. No, I see where he got this because I'm seeing frames. And I think Mayowa pointed out one time that you guys get too excited, so you tend to use shadow for everything, because here this shadow was not necessary at all. It was unnecessary for this. I'm seeing a shadow here. And I'm wondering why you put it here or why it is there. So you can see the difference. This person made use of exciting colors. Like, I'm going on this website and I'm already feeling intrigued. You can see the use of the colors. Same thing here, spacing and everything. So if you're getting inspiration, get inspiration. I think that's the best way to put it. If you're getting inspiration, get inspiration. So you're saying this is your resume, this is your experience, and then this page is blank. I think my wife even dropped the comments. Where's your experience? So as well as what's going on here, and then your portfolio. This is a better way to present this. Okay, this is a better way to present this. So this is a better way to present this actually. And we don't have much time. I'm just going to the last person here. So what do you guys think about this before we call it a day? I think this is the last design. I'm just going to maybe check for. Please drop comments, or if you want to speak up, you can go ahead and raise your hand. Let me look for other designs that's actually striking or look good. Comments, feedback. What do you think about this? So Olakule, you're saying it's barely readable. What exactly? What exactly is barely readable? So I'm struggling to see this text, the same thing here, because of the choice of color, and this button too is barely visible. Remember when we talked about, I think we you need to take your minds back to when we're doing the whole UX thing. You know, we asked ourselves questions like, how do users feel when they see our website or our application? Would they trust it? And would they be able to assess it? I think we talked about all of these questions, right? I think was it in the first or second class that we had? So like Maiwa said, okay, it's not only about the UI. It's not about how fine your design looks. Okay, or the splash of colors and all of that. Is it actually accessible to users? When you're making use of icons, are you sure that they're not too complex that the users do not actually understand at first glance? So these are questions that you need to ask ourselves when we're making use of certain components or elements in our designs. So I'm seeing a lot of choice of fonts and color. So what about the font exactly? What about the font? So this is the about me. And we have my experience here. So there's a lot of inconsistency in spacing. That's the first thing I want to point out. The spacing between this line, understand it's part of the design. Spacing between this line and the text. The same thing here. This one even has some spacing. This one barely. This one barely. So there has to be consistency. If you're going to use 8 pixels for your spacing for a particular part or section in your design, make sure that it goes round. Okay, there's this form of consistency. And then this gray background was not really necessary, if you ask me. The same thing with this one in this button. I don't understand why there is a light gray here for the fill. Okay, when you can just leave it as white, because this is obviously a secondary button. So the same thing here, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Spacing wise, alignment. This can actually be better. This can actually be better. Okay. This can actually be better. If somebody is saying something, please do well to raise your hand if you want to speak. Sophie, your hand is still raised. Do you want to say something? Sophie, can you hear me? Oh, this is your design. Oh, well done, man. You cannot roast yourself. Of course you can. You can roast yourself. So, Sophia, this can be better. Okay, I think I dropped a few comments for you on the board that you need to check out and do the corrections. I'll suggest you look for another color because this green is not greening at all. So let's look for another color that actually matches your brand, because you are the brand now. So all that matches your brand and also complements all the other colors. So lastly, because we barely have time, before I hand over to Mayowa, I'm just going to share this. So I personally loved this design. Samuel Adeyemi. This looks very, very detailed. I'm not sure I left a lot of comments. Okay. I don't leave a lot of comments for corrections, except some alignment issues that he had on the mobile side. But take a look at this design. What do you guys think? So let's not be as if I'm being partial or like I do not know what I'm saying. So what do you guys think about this design? In terms of color, spacing, and all of that. Comments. Chukwuti said he got inspiration from me. Where is your design, please? I'd like to see where he drew the inspiration from. So you can see this for his hero section. Explore my work, download CV. I see the spacing. Okay. This is to show that this person puts a lot of thought, okay, into doing this in terms of the UX and the UI too. So it's very simple. It's very simple. So we're not trying to roast anybody or make anybody feel bad if we actually. You're famous, please leave me alone. No, we're not turning this table to me today, not today. Of course, it's my favorite color, yes, but that's not the reason why I love it. It's not totally black anyway, so Ugoma is saying this design really made me want to hire him for some reason. Samuel Adeyemi, if you're seeing or hearing this, So you have a potential client in the comment section. Ogoma wants to hire you for whatever reason she wants to. So yes, this is actually very fine for my services. You can see how detailed this is. We have my portfolio, but I think I dropped a comment here. Yes. What happens when I decide to scroll to the left? Because there's no icon on the left too. Okay, it should be for both sides. Okay, so as the what's it called? As the cards are moving, right? There should be some kind of evidence, okay, with the icons on both sides. So the users can actually tell that, okay, this is where this actually ends, and I still have more to go on the right. So he famous is saying it's pleasing to the eye and detail. The color combo is beautiful. Love it. I love it too, actually. This is for listen to my customers. You can see this too. You can see how well detailed this is. And then we have get in touch. Everything is just so simple, right? So like Maiwa said, keep it simple. You're not trying to please us. So I'm trying to imagine what was going through some of you guys' mind. You know, most of those designs like, God, this is so nice. I'm feeling myself. I cannot wait for Favor to grade this. I cannot wait for Maiwa to grade this. So calm down. Less is more, actually, and you can see it here. You can see it here. Look at the footer. Very simple. So Kali design is very detailed and very simple, impressive. I'm impressed too. So it is not going to be partial if you decide to give this person 100. Well, of course, I not give this person 100. Nobody has ever gotten 100 in my hand. I'll leave that for Mayowa. Mayowa is always very generous with this cause, but nobody has ever gotten 100. It's very hard to impress me, okay? So you have to try very hard, very, very hard. So this is actually where I think you guys should draw inspiration from, keeping it simple. If you're famous, I think this guy is a beginner too, but you can ask him. His DM is very open. So this is where I think you guys should draw inspiration from. Make sure that your work is well detailed. Even from the videos that you've watched, that you've seen me design, you can see how I always hold on to the alt key to try to check my alignment as I'm designing. I'm checking my alignment. I'm making sure that, okay, this is actually in place, and I'm giving them enough spacing, because that's how you can tell that a design is pleasing to the eye. When there's enough spacing, there's enough room for your elements to breathe. Okay, so please take note of this little points, because that's what we're looking out for. We're not looking out at how beautiful or how fine your picture is on the design or the splash of colors. We're not looking for any of that. These are the things we're looking out for, the UX and the UI. Okay, all of these simple, these principles that can easily be missed if you don't take time. So take note of that. Yes, Khalid is saying, my next goal is to make Favor give me 100. I wish you good luck with that, because it's going to take a while. I've never actually graded anybody 100, but Mayowa has. So he's a generous one here. So somebody's saying, let's see his mobile view. So this is his mobile view. I'm just going to quickly scroll down before I hand over to Maiwa. You can see how he did a good job at resizing these elements, right? The same thing here. Listen to my customers, and then get in touch. So yes, that's it from my end. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. Maiwa, if you can hear me, I'll stop sharing now, and then you can take over from there.
All right then, thank you very much, Favor. So I'll quickly like to point out that when Favor is saying that take inspiration from this particular design, we're not asking you to go and copy what this guy did. He's a beginner. To whoever is asking, he's a beginner, just like the rest of you. So don't go there and copy everything he did. You know, when we say, if you look at this particular design, you would notice that one of the things that makes it so pleasant to the eye, like someone said, is he maintained, that's the very first thing, he maintained his margin. The space between his nav bar and the edge of his, okay, I see where this problem is coming from though. But the space that he has here, this 155 should be 155 here. But you would notice that in every other place, it's not the same. But according to your eye, as you're looking at it visually, um, it looks equal. So Samuel, take notes. There's a little bit of discrepancy, but it's not so obvious. This is 146. The space here is 146. The space here is 152. And then here you have 149, 145, just difference of 4 pixels. But you have to be, yeah, in things like this, you have to make sure that it's accurate. That's why we taught you how to use margins when you're setting up your grids and columns. So using that, let me see. Okay, you actually did use a grid here. I can see it, but you didn't follow it as you should have. That's why you're having the discrepancy of 4 pixels here and there. So you will notice that all through, he actually paid attention to his margin. All of the items in each section, they are starting at 150. If I check out the dimension for his grid settings, you can see the margin is 150, gutter is 26. Some of you didn't actually apply this, and we taught you all the things we've been teaching you so far. We're not teaching you to fulfill all righteousness. We're teaching you because you are going to apply them in all that you're doing. Another thing is your use of components and variants and your style guide. It is very, very important. We taught you how to create a style guide. The previous, I don't remember whose submission, that one of the submissions that Favor showed us, there was no style guide. The guy didn't do a style guide at all. So the essence of your style guide is to help to guide your design. Ideally, you create your style guide before you even start designing, because by the time you start designing, you will know that you're going to need a button, you're going to need a form, you're going to need this and that. But it's excusable. That's one of the things I actually do. I create my own style guide while designing, because lots of the times it might be hard, it might be hard for you to figure out all the things you need before you start. So it's also very, very much fine. If that works for you, perfect. That's what works for me. And I use that, and it really improves my workflow. So you can be creating your style guide as you are designing, but that's mainly for your components and all. When it comes to your color, those are the two things that you need to do before you start: your text style and your color style. Those ones, there are no two ways to it. You have to set them before you start, because sometimes if you start without doing that, you will now realize that once you change one color style, it might not reflect in some places because some of those things are not attached to the style. So you can see here now, we actually attach this to the style. So in a case now, we already taught you about components. You might be wondering, where can I use the components? Where should I not? This is a perfect place to make use to use components. So if, for instance, now I say, okay, I want to change the style of these testimonial cards. If I say I want to change let's say this young man, he even used auto layout and everything. That's wonderful. So if I say I want to change it and make it look like this, you can see that it's only this one that was changed. The rest were not changed. But if I say I want to change the color of the background, change it from this to maybe this, you can see it's only this one that was changed. The rest were not changed. So let me undo all of that. But if I use a component, if you use the component here, whatever changes you make to the main component will be reflected on every of the instances. In Favor's words, whatever changes you make to the parent component will be reflected on all the baby components, which are the instances. So this is very, very good work. And try and incorporate all these things. I really liked that you made use of auto layout and all of that. What is falling down? Please mute your mics. If you want to talk, raise your hand. So What was I saying? Try and all these things that we taught you, it was a process. Your whole syllabus was structured um in such a way
Ó
that
ti
you're
pé
going to have the
11.
best. Who is this person? So the whole syllabus was structured in such a way that in a step-by-step manner, according to how you're going to need these things. So all the things that we taught you concerning, especially on Figma now for your UI, go back to them, refresh on them, and try and apply um, um, all these things. So that being said, yeah, I was mentioning the things about this design that makes it look great. His use of margin, and then his spacing, very important. There is reasonable spacing between all elements. Let me use this particular section, for instance. When we had the cluster on design principles and elements and all those things, one of the things you researched on was spacing. And if you actually did research on all those things and read up all the articles that you might have researched on, you probably would have landed upon a UX law that talks about proximity, the law of proximity. So basically what it's saying is that um, similar items or items related to one another should be in close proximity to one another. Let me open what's his name? Joshua's submission. That's a very good example to demonstrate that. So in this particular design, you can see how all of these nav links about services, portfolio, testimonials, and contacts, they are grouped together, and the logo is different because all of these five are all nav links. They are grouped together. Users would expect that once I click on services, it takes me to another page. Let's say the user is someone that is not even familiar with websites. He hasn't even used a laptop before. But because they are grouped together, you would expect that they function in the same way. They all lead to different pages of the website. And then the logo is different because that's the logo of the website. In some cases, it can be clickable and you click on it and it takes you somewhere else. Another good use of spacing and proximity is in this section. You can see that the space, before I even check the dimension, the space between my services and this text is smaller than the space between the text and all these cards. That's because my services, and you can see it's already grouped in one auto layout frame. And the dimension, the space there is 18, which is this space, 18. So, and as compared to the space that we have here, 39. Khalid, also make sure, try as much as possible to follow your 8-point grading system. If you are following the 8-point grading system, you should be having something like 40 here, not 39. And then here should be something like 16 because 8 times 8 is 16. So you make sure you use your 8 points spacing system. All those things they're minor, but they play when you start designing on a very large scale, you start to see the effect. So these two items are grouped together, and all these four are grouped together. It tells you that okay, this is introducing me to this section. This is an introductory content for this section. And all these four are the actual content of the section, which are his services. So if you take a look at this design now, on the nav bar, you have home here, you have about here, you have projects, you have call to action, let's talk. All of them, none of them are grouped together. You can see as much as we're talking about spacing, too little of spacing is terrible. That's the same way too much of spacing is also very terrible because that defeats the whole purpose of proximity. And then the same thing here too. You have looking at it visually, you have almost the same space between this text, this text, this text, this button, and all these guys. It just shows you that there is no grouping, there is no similarity, so to say. So try as much as possible to be very conscious of your spacing. All these little things, spacing, color, margin, and all of that, layout. When you put all of them together, that's what would impact how good your UI is, how great your design looks. Now I'm not talking about the experience, I'm talking about how they look visually. So all these things, and then typography too, we already talked about that. So all these minor things, they go a very long way. You can see, even though this person is a little bit too much, but you can see that these guys are obviously grouped together. And I'm not even talking about this totally outstream. I'm talking about in terms of the spacing. The space between these guys is less than the space between these guys and the card. It tells you that these two are together. That's a heading and a subheading or description text. And then you actually have the portfolio um, pieces. And I dropped this comment in some works. It's a very great user experience for you to have a little bit of description text on each of the portfolio pieces, because I as a recruiter, I'm going through your portfolio website and I'm like, okay, I saw this picture. This is one of your works. Maybe this is a design that you did, or this is an app that you did. I cannot just know what exactly it is by looking at the picture. You can add things like the name of that particular project, the industry, maybe real estate. That one is not really important, but the name and a little bit of description telling users about what this project is about. That will help me know, okay, do I want to open this or do I not want to open this? So that being said, I want to quickly show, this is a little bit of expo, but at this point, it looks like it's very much needed. I want to show you guys how you can, because we previously shared a document that has different websites, which are these websites to get inspiration. But the thing about most of these websites is that, number one, it's just people that are also learning, that are just sharing their ideas. Of course, you have lots of professionals there to sharing their designs and all. But the major disadvantage is that you are just seeing maybe one screen or two screens, except for in case of Behance, for instance, where, okay, you can actually upload case studies and you can see not just multiple screens of a particular website, but the process behind the designer's thinking process behind that design. So another method that you can use is you can use template websites. There are different websites that host website templates. You have Webflow templates, you have Elementor, WordPress templates, and all. Let me show you using this particular one. ThemeForest is very, very common, and you guys need to familiarize yourself with it. The advantage of getting inspiration here is that you're getting inspiration from a whole website, not just a picture of the homepage or what the case may be. And we've been emphasizing on how important it is for you to get inspiration. There's no offense in it. We keep saying it. You have to learn to steal like an artist. And what that means is not just copying word for word, like the submission that Favor showed us. You have to learn how to steal in a very creative way. You guys have watched all those movies, all these heist movies like Ocean's 8, well, Now You See Me, or The Italian Job, for instance. Yes, I'm sure at least one of you guys must have seen one of these movies. You can see the way they planned their heist. They did not just go somewhere and say, hey, hands up and rob the place. The greatest heists, or for instance, what's the name of this one on Netflix? The one with the professor and all, Money Heist. That's the name. You can see all the planning that went into all those things. It wasn't just a day job. It wasn't a month job. They had been planning it beforehand. So that's the same thing when it comes to you stealing like an artist, putting thoughts into this thing, putting efforts into searching for inspiration, which is one of the ways I'm showing you now. So you come on this website and you search, because this particular website has so many different types of assets. You have images, videos, you can see them here. You have websites, 3D files, and all of that. So I come here and I search for personal websites, because that's what you're working on. And then you can see different personal websites. There are so many of them. And then you see one, let's say this one now, for instance. I like the way this guy looks. And I click on it. And you can view. Let me try and open the live website. I hope it's free. I don't want to open the picture. Okay, let's just go with the picture. So, do I zoom this? Yeah, let me drop this here. What's the name? Samuel, please, since you gave me edit access, let me quickly borrow your Figma file. Okay, so the image is there, but let me increase the size so you can see it. It's very blurry. It's very blurry. Anyway, I don't need to go into too much detail concerning that. But the essence is just to use these websites. There are some of them that you can actually, let's look at Webflow, for instance. You can actually navigate and view different, okay, you have portfolio, different pages of the website. I wouldn't advise for you though to use Webflow because Webflow websites are very, not very complex. You have some simple templates, of course, but most of them are pretty much advanced. So let's look at this. So this is the website, and and this is me searching for inspiration, and I'm using a template to that because the advantage is this is the home screen for this. Okay, we're not there yet. Look at the home pages. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the home screen now. So this is one particular template. I can use this as inspiration. And then and you can see this is the hero section. And then our latest work, these are the portfolio pieces and all of that. And then you can also even see interaction. By the time you start actually building websites, you would need, because I remember Ike's being mention of that at a point, that you're not just designing for the default state, you're also designing for maybe when you have 10 portfolio pieces or the hover state of an item and different things like that. So the advantage of searching for inspiration like this, you can view other pages and all of that. So when it comes to, remember I also mentioned that before you start designing, we already taught you how to create a style guide and color style. And in a whole lot of your submissions, one thing I really noticed was that you guys you really got your style text really wrong. Either they are too big or they are too small. So one general rule of thumb, I don't know if this has been mentioned before, is that your body text, by body text, it means that paragraph text, like this, for instance, is paragraph text. This, for instance, is paragraph text. Can you see? Paragraph text are usually a little bit more, and in some cases, a whole lot more bulkier, more comprehensive than your heading texts, which are things like this, your H6, H5, H4, those are your headings. And then your body or your paragraph text should not be anything less than 16 pixels, anything between 16 to 18 pixels. Some might go as far as 20 pixels, depending on your target audience. If you are building a website that is going to mainly be used by elderly people, maybe a website that is advertising walking aids or things that are mainly used by the elderly population, you might want to consider making your text more legible, bigger for them to see. So what I'm just saying is that your paragraph text should be nothing less than 16 pixels. That should serve as your base. You can also have less than that, but that will be for things like caption. Let me see if you have any, yeah, this is a caption text. Now, for instance, let me see what was used here. This is 16, and paragraph text it can be the same, but in most cases, you want your caption, especially depending on how you're using it, to be a little bit less than your paragraph text. But what I'm just trying to pass across is paragraph text should be nothing less than 16 pixels. It could be 16, it could be 18, it could be 20, but it should not be less than 16. So, and should not be more than that 20 also, because by the time it's becoming more than 20, it's already becoming too big. And then the size should be regular, not light, not medium, should be regular. So once you have this at the back of your mind, you know that, okay, this is the size for my paragraph text. For the sake of hierarchy, you now know how to scale the rest of your typography, your text style. So another way you can get inspiration for text on live websites, there are different plugins that you can use on Chrome but the one I make use of is this particular extension. It's called What Font. So once I click on it, I can see number one, I can see the type of font that is used. There's another one, I think that's what most people use. It's called Font Ninja. So you can see the typeface that was used. And when I click on it, I can also see something is wrong here. Okay, this is not loading. It's supposed to bring out all the text properties. Let me try and open another website. Okay, let's use, no, I don't want to open that. Let me just use Google. Let's use Amazon. So once I use that extension, I can see the text properties. Yes. You can see the font size, which is the most important thing that we want to see here, the font size, the weight. So for weight, there's actually a way to check this. Regular is 400, medium is 500, and all you can actually Google all these things. But the most important thing I'm showing you here is the size. So if you're taking inspiration from this website, for instance, I don't know why that font is not loading here though, but what I'm trying to pass across is if you're taking inspiration from here, you can actually see there's another way to do this using the browser console, but that's a longer way, and you start to see code and it just start to confuse you. But using extensions like this is easier. So you can actually see the font size that was used here. You can see the font size that was used here, just like I'm doing here. I can hover on this and click. It will show me each of the font sizes, the line height, and the color, and all of that. So this also improves your ability to steal like an artist, because now you are stealing with precision. So all these minor things, it will really help you. You guys need to learn how to use Google. Google is your friend. You're always shying away from it. If you have questions, of course, you can ask on the channel. But before you ask on the channel, use Google. Try and solve problems on your own before you come and have people help you out. First, make an attempt to find a solution on your own. If you don't now have a way, fine, come on the Discord channel and drop your problem. But use Google. There's hardly anything that if it's that you're trying to find the right button size, all you need to do, you Google it, button size for websites. And there's no way Google will not show you. You can see now button size should not be less than 42 pixels and all of this. Of course, different websites will show you different things, but they're all within a range. You can check images and you will see different things. See, this image is already showing you dimension, padding, and margin settings for buttons. So learn to use Google. Don't wait for us to come and teach you everything, because we actually can't. There's a whole lot. You are in the UI UX beginner track, and it's not everything that a beginner should know that we can teach you within the space of 4 months. UI UX is a course that is also offered in a university. The problem is just not in Nigeria. For abroad, lots of schools offer these courses. They might call them other name, but it's still under it's still under user interface and user experience design. And they teach these things for 3 to 4 years. So we coming to do a rush work, a 4 months crash course, which is the KodeCamp bootcamp. We can't teach you everything. So if you know that you're serious with learning this thing, you actually have to go out of your way and gain knowledge for yourself. Do your own research. Don't wait for us to teach you everything. So from now, I believe that the submissions that will be seen and the corrections that will be seen to already sent submissions will be of much better quality. The interface is going to be amazing, so as the user experience. All right, thank you so much, Favor. Over to you. Hello, Favor. Are you still there? Can you hear me? Can anyone even hear me? I hope I've not been talking to myself all this one. Hello. All right, thank God for that. So that's pretty much what we have for today. And if you guys have questions on any other thing, the Discord channel is there. You can drop your comments, complaints, questions, and all. And just like I said right now, your designs, all what we taught you in this class is not just for the stage 4 task. You can also apply it to your stage 3 task and also the stage 5 task and pretty much every other one. So if you're on this 4 and you're not in the current stage, which is stage 4, you can still apply all these things. They all work hand in hand for every task that we've given you. And eventually you get to this stage and apply all these things. So thank you all very much. That's it for today. We'll see you on Wednesday. Have a nice day.